No offense to Duke though, I got my wish. I got to see Ba carry it 27 times because it was forced on Billy Napier to do that,
And he
and
was
it proves my
awesome.
point. He could be a workhorse.
He was awesome, and I think I think we'll get into it a little more later in the show about why Florida won this game, but I think that had a lot to do with it. Is Jaden Ba getting all that work and making Texas respect them a little bit?
From your observations, why did we win the game and dominate Texas? Because we look like the number 9 team in the country. Texas did not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a little tough for me just because I was on the field, and you would think it's easier to watch the game when you're on the field because you're right in the action. But it's
Yeah.
really hard, man. Sometimes you just like you don't even know. You see Jaden Ball go into a pile of 10 people, and you're like, where the hell
yeah.
did he go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from my feeling, I mean, the number one thing for me, and we were talking about this with Napier for the entire week, is the deep passing game. DJ Lagway was last year the best deep passer in the country, according to PFF. He had one of the best grades of any passer on passes 20 plus yards downfield. And this year, he was one of the worst coming into Texas. He had, I wrote a story, he had no completions 20 plus yards downfield against FBS opponents until Texas.
I
He only
remember.
had one against LIU, and that was the
Yep.
BB3 catch, which was insane. So that was a big thing on why this offense wasn't clicking and why Lagway didn't look like himself, because his best asset and his best kind of ability was missing. You know what I mean? Like it was non-existent, and for whatever reason, if it was just if it was as simple as just being Dallas Wilson, which I think definitely has a little bit to do with that, they got it going, man. I mean they hit the Dallas Wilson for the 55-yard touchdown. Obviously, that's the big one. VB3 downfield made a phenomenal catch, and
That was crazy.
and
that
from
was
what I've heard, he
crazy.
was he was open, man. It wasn't like that was kind of just a prayer shot. He was open. I think the ball got to him a little late, but huge play by him. Even J Mike I mentioned, he had some big plays there. I think he only had two catches, but two catches for 41 yards, and he had some nice receptions. So I think that was the number one thing that stood out for me was getting the ball downfield, deep passing, which it felt like Florida was scared to pass the ball versus Miami. It felt like that versus LSU when they threw 5 interceptions. Versus Texas, it felt like they could do whatever they want passing. I mean, you think back to we had another drive where we were on our way to scoring until Hayden Hansen fumbled the ball. He
Yep.
just got
We
us
would have scored
down
that.
into scoring position. So it felt like the offense was clicking because of the downfield passing. And I mentioned it, the Jaden Ball usage, I think the Jaden Ball usage opened that up in a way. It felt like in games before, it was always like, wow, look, our run game is really nice, but we can't use it because the teams are just, stacking the box. The teams are expecting us to run, and we're finding no success. We found success on the run game. We established the run. We gave them 27 carries, did you say?
27
27?
carries. The entire
27 carries, established the run. He was dominant in the game. And that's when the team start realizing, oh man, like we got to go all out to stop Jaden Ball. And then we beat him over deep. We beat him with Dallas Wilson on the outside, one-on-one coverage. And that's when they say, oh man, we got to respect the deep passing game. And that opens up the offense. They're playing on their heels. So I think it was a combination. I mean, the defense has always been elite. The defense has
Yeah,
always been
we have a
great.
championship defense.
And I mean, they took even a step up. They got pressure on the quarterback, which we haven't been doing too much of. And I think that had more to do with just being off, like being up in a game. You haven't been up in a game, so you haven't been able to really just go after some guy. You haven't been able to just send a bunch of blitzes like Ron Roberts did.